Morgana and sorry, Zed, Morgana, and guy with all the stances. Udyr, yeah. Zed, Morgana, and Udyr. That's my predictions coming in for the bans from HTC. That's exactly what they want. And in the last couple of games, sorry, in the last game, anyway, the first game, they weren't as impacted by those bans. They didn't really mind as much, I think. I think they were sort of like, well, these are sort of players that they're really, really used to and they're really interested in. Let's just get rid of those. But now they're going to have a lot more focus on their target bans. They've got the opportunity to as well. VGR, they have a lot more to pick from that HTC are comfortable with. They've got the Blitz, they've got the Malphite, they've got the Thresh. And to be honest, they sort of do have the Zed. Now that Blue has, now that HTC is in the blue position with the first pick, they can move in and potentially first pick a Blitz. So that's something that VGR will definitely have to ban out. They're definitely going to have to get that Blitz. They may actually ban out their own Zed considering HTC. I mean, I know Magic R and Gully isn't as proficient at it. I mean, not as proficient. They don't play him as much. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm saying it. VGR not going to be banning out that Zed, but of course they do have to. They're sort of forced out to ban the OP champions that are first pick available for HT3 right now. So they're denied a couple of bans of their own as well. So it's going to be a very, very difficult fight for VGR now that they're on the red side again. But hey, if they manage to get that Zed, they just might be able to pull it off. I'm kidding. That as long as they get good lane control mixed with consistent damage output and tankiness, that's where they really pick up. I'm seeing a lot of teams right now, particularly these two teams, that if they go full tanky, it doesn't always work out. It's working out quite well for HTC to go full tanky as long as they've got the initiate with the ultimates, especially on Malphite and on Hikarum. But blah 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 blah. With VGR, they work very, very well with both consistencies. You know, they could pick up themselves potentially a Jarvan as well. Jarvan would do really, really great for their team fight combo. But he's normally seen in that jungle, maybe in that top role. If Zed is denied, Jarvan would do very well. He's very tanky. He's got the great initiate. He's got the lockdowns as well to disrupt team fights. That could be a great displacement for Zed. But HTC have sort of solidified where they are as a team. They're great at meshing together. They're not always in love with those lockdown team fights. They're great. Oh, sorry, lockdown team compositions. They're great with the ultimates and with the engages. And they're not always focused on pure damage output. They want to win their lanes and they want to get in and be tanky enough to survive any damage output from the enemy that they can just sustain a fight and win that out. That's a lot of what their composition sort of pull towards. So we'll see what they do coming into game number 3. Whoever wins this goes into the finals, and the chance at whoop. Let me just get over here. Get the schedule. And the chance at $1,000 coming into the first place prize, together with even more money potentially with all of those bonuses coming in from HTC and Big World. Very, very tasty. Anyway, we will be right back into game number 3. Just a minute. See you guys in a sec. Well, we are now back into the game. Game number 3, BCS. Next week, guys, going to be the finals, best of 5. All up against whoever wins this and VGN. So that best of 5 going to be very, very interesting to watch. And this is pretty intense as well, considering VGR took away that second game really effectively. It's going to be the same bands actually coming down. Morgana's denied again. They really don't want Raw to get on that Morgana. And there's the Z ban on HTC sitting on the blue side. How are VGR going to retaliate to this? They cannot go straight out damage. They cannot go straight out tankiness. They need that good mix to because that's where they shine. They're great at meshing all of their abilities together to help lock down enemies while still dealing damage. Mistrat actually picking out Mistrat actually picking out Rice Cake for his ADC. That Tristana is no longer available to him. He may follow this up with a Caitlyn, to be honest. Hickenham getting banned out, Diana and Malphite. So Thresh and Blitz still available to love VSOP if he wants them. And it's going to be a dangerous little fight coming in. Ooh, we're looking at a bit of a raid. Ooh, what are you doing, Blue? What are you doing? You look all crazy. Actually thinking of picking up the Malphite. They know that Malphite is Maokai is a bit of a pick from Gali. Maybe they want to pick it up for NZ Stealth before the game gets underway. Game number 3, guys. This is the decider. Join us next week for the best of 5 match between the winner of this match and VGN. We're going to be doing prizes, giveaways on the stream. It's going to be amazing. Join us live in Big World Internet Cafe to get your chance at winning Razor Mice and the like. Could be a lot of fun. And yeah, Blue does lock in as that Lulu. Not going to be picking up anything early for the rest of the team. Gali. Oh, they really are picking everything out of VGR's skill set. They've got Mistrat, not necessarily their only skill set, but they really are picking out of their general skill set. They've got Mistrat picking up the Tristana. They've got Gali actually taking away the Rise from Raw. How is he going to respond to that? He may be going for the pick with Karthus. Does quite well against the Rise. He's got that range damage, and if he gets locked down, he can just sit there with his AoE on and keep Rise completely locked down, plus take control of team fights with the Initiate and lanes with his ultimate as well. And Love VSOP has the ability to go onto the Amumu. That was denied quite a lot by VGR at the beginning. This is intense. This is intense. So VSOP grabbing that up for Dan there. For Gali, if I'm not mistaken. And NZ Stealth going to be sticking with that Maokai. So it's going to be that Maokai Lulu combo again. Worked very, very well for them for that Initiate. But up against an Amumu, I don't know. They can really deny that Initiate, or they can very much turn it on its head. But if NZ Stealth gets way too aggressive, he can sort of force out the Curse of the Sad Mummy from Amumu. If he does that on himself, they're looking quite good for a team fight. And Volk keeps on thinking about that Vlad. He really does. Vlad's got a decent amount of burst, but he doesn't quite scale well into that late game. Does very well for sustain in the top lane. So he doesn't know who he is up against. That Z ban, so dangerous. He does lock in as it though. He's going to go for it. He's going to be very, very aggressive, I can say, in that top lane. But who is he going to be dealing with? Someone I would think with a lot of sustain. Or who will be building sustain. Oh, Magic R is thinking of going with his lucky old Renekton. I love remembering this guy's. Magic R on Renekton. He went up on a 2-for-1 lane where he was the one with a double longsword combo. He got a double kill. He's very, very dangerous using that. Oh, he does swap out for the Thresh. Maybe swapping out here now because he is going to swap with VSOP, who will be probably swapping with Dan. With Dan. That's the name. But how is Raw going to retaliate to this? I would expect a Karthus, but he may mix it up. Karthus would let him be incredibly aggressive and incredibly effective. and give him a lot of opportunities to control lanes, help out his teammates a lot. That's the brilliance about Karthus. Well, even if he doesn't get the kills, he can help out all of his lanes. And coming into a team fight, he pulls off a lot of AoE damage. But looks like he's still pretty happy to tank up. He's been playing that Shogar for the first game as well. It was decently effective. He did dominate that mid lane. But up against a... it could be Volf in the mid lane actually picking it out. He could be grabbing that Vlad for the mid. As the last time we did see Cho'Gath switch up and go to the top lane. I think that was on HTC though. And deal with the armor instead. It does work quite well for them if you do that switch out. But Volf has a little bit better sustain against Magic R. Let's see. Yeah, there's that swap out. So Magic R is on his Renekton. Will they go out for a lane swap maybe? That would be an interesting thing to see. Well, up against a Lulu and a... up against a Lulu... Whew. And the Kog'Maw. Hard to say. Lulu and Kog'Maw, they've got great poke, and Kog'Maw can put down the slow. So I wouldn't expect it. I do want to see something very, very unconventional in this game, though. That can be the difference to winning out a series. Really surprising everyone in that third match. But it does look like it's going to be a pretty standard 1-1 jungle 2 matchup. We shall see, though. Anyway, some of the spells are coming active right about now. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And it's going to be a teleport sitting on the rise there. So he's most definitely in that mid lane, going back and forth, showing the aggression to everyone. And along with the Amumu's ganks with his Vantage tosses, those can be very, very effective. People can get into a fight very quickly, change it around, or just secure those kills. So we'll see if that does change around the fight. I'm just very interested to see where these lane matches are actually going. And Raw picking himself an exhaust, which is also very interesting. It does suggest that he will be going up against Magic R, because of course Magic R very more up close and personal. He does have a little bit more burst in that early game, and that exhaust does so much to mitigate damage from a Renekton when he gets up close and personal. Goes in with a slice and dice. Throws out Cull Meek as well. It will be interesting to see. In all honesty, it may just be Raw in the mid, but up against a ranged and very dangerous champion like Gully. Like Gully has on Rise. I don't know. Could very much not go in their favor. Up against champions like Diana that he was at the beginning, very, very effective. If they get up close and personal, just got a rupture, just got a silence, and they can't do anything. That's pretty much it. Anyway, getting in that bot lane, a little bit of a back and forth. I do think Rice Cakes has the range at the beginning of the game to take away more farm, to take away more lane control. But VSOP on Thresh, of course, they've got the death sentence. And with the Lantern, you know, he can protect Mistrat out quite a lot. And they're both, again, going for those barrier builds. So is that enough? Is that enough to sustain them? To be honest, Rice Cakes is a late game ADC, so Instant Stealth might be putting quite a lot of work into the bot lane. They want Rice Cakes to scale very, very well. There's no one in particular except Magic R. Like, Magic R is particularly good at bypassing a team fight entirely and focusing down the ADC if he's far away. And Rice Cakes is in the position where he will be very far away. He's a very, very high range damage AD carry. We'll see if Lulu is enough to protect him, or Instant Stealth is going to be the focus of attention. Right now, it's a toss-up for the damage output. If a really, really, really good ultimate comes out from Amumu, then that can really take down a team fight. Of course, it does act, I believe, as a stun and a lock now, allowing Mistrat to potentially jump in there, get a kill, and jump back out again. But it is all up to this game. Best of 3. Winner takes all going into the finals. Loser knocked down to versus the last team in the play bracket, sorry. Loading in. It is Little Knight Amumu. Sorry, no present. No present for you, Halitude. Or Destro. Come to think of it, Destro was the one who wanted the present. So, Destro, meet Hully. There is your gift. Would have been the two present junglers. And wow, okay, Cookie and Explorer Ward coming out on Volv, so he's looking to sustain in lane rather than get aggressive. He does have those support masteries. $21.09, I am thinking indeed.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
The only question now, is Volv going to be in that mid lane? Are they thinking of swapping out at all? Oh, Dan, you're about to have a very unlucky... Oh, that knockup did manage to land on him. He does flash out of it. So that is one flash burned. It may be quite... Oh, actually, he is going to go back. He probably won't have too much difficulty getting into the jungle now. But now that VGR have control of that side of the jungle, they're going to ward it down. They're going to be able to tell where he is exactly. And they may move in to be very sneaky. They have the opportunity with that ward. They can tell exactly what Amumu is up to if he does go for the blue. Or if they go for a steal. But it looks like it will be a pretty standard jungle right after that engage.
Minions have spawned.
Very quick reaction from Amumu. But just the perfect prediction knockup from Raw. That is how you initiate into a bush, people. Yes, that is how you book initiate. Ooh, Magic are going to start out at golems. Getting that little extra moolah. Will they be? Oh no, they let it path back just a little bit, so they're going to be quite hurt when they get into that bot lane. Already a pot has been popped out from VSOP, and he won't be getting much from this. If indeed anything at all. No. He did actually pick up a kill. Did he? Was that actually his? No, it wasn't. Okay. Okay, so it is going to be Vlad in the top lane. Cho'Gath will be dealing with that ranged burst in the mid lane with Rise. Maybe he's hoping to get aggressive and push the lane with his QW combo. Just maybe. I'm thinking he's going to have a lot of trouble there, but they do want that Cho'Gath for those team fights. They don't want that tankiness combined with the damage that Raw can output. He does that very effectively. And Gully is not actually taking the opportunity to punish him. There isn't much reason to punish him in the early game, because he does sustain very well with getting the minion kills and his carnivore. That carnivore passive. Wood down for Magic R, going to be denying ganks coming in from NZ Stealth, and Magic R is actually having a decently hard time up against Volv, so it is good to have them up against each other. But again, Magic R, close range, up against Raw, he can knock him up. It's a bit like Diana and a bit like a Gully. You can really punish people getting up close and personal, but Volv can sustain a lot better, whereas Magic R is great early game burst. So I'm wondering if it's the right decision to have Volv up against him at the top lane. But Volv, of course, as long as they can poke out each other equally, Volv does have the pool available to him later. So he can really start taking charge of team fight. Oh, and Amumu did go for blue. That water's doing its work. NZ Stealth and Raw coming in, and they will be able to get first blood up against Dan. It does go to Raw, so he's going to be able to get out his catalyst just that little bit quicker. It will help him out in that mid lane. Maybe he's going to be able to do a lot more to Rise. They do manage to steal the blue buff, as well as they manage to grab Galgay. In comes Magic R, seeing if he can mitigate a lot of damage, but it may just be a 3-for-0. In he goes, NZ Stealth flashing out of there as Magic R does manage to escape just that little bit quicker. Oh, he does get the knockup on the right. He does go flash and auto attack. 3 kills already for VGR. 2 to Raw there. one going to Maokai. That was insane. They just kept going and thinking they'd be able to follow up on them stealing buffs, getting damage on them from taking out people, but they just couldn't handle it. All the lanes continued to converge. VGR walking out of there. That was the issue. Like that, if the rest of HTC had walked around a little bit more, if they had tried to dodge out a couple of VGR's attacks, they would have been in a decent position to continue on. But they stayed there and they fought to try and get the damage off to make it mean something when Magikarp got in there. And they just couldn't do as much. They couldn't follow up after that. They were trying to do that little trick where you keep people isolated for enough time so that your friends come in and help. They're probably sitting there saying, no, I can be there in time. Just stay there, just damage. But there was enough damage output from Ra. Surprisingly, considering he did have a lot of his mana down. But he managed to sustain and stay in there. Very, very strong start out from VGR. Now that the one lane they would have had that range to deal with, to have a lot of troubles with. Now that they've sort of mitigated that, I mean, he's already got his Catalyst. He's denied a bit of damage with the Null Magic Mantle onto Cho'Gath. Yeah, he's going to have so much fun in that mid lane up against Gali. And in the top lane, Volf will still be doing okay now that Magikarp has died. He's denied a bit of farm. He's sitting 18-28, so he's still not doing that great. He can still range farm with his Q. But in the bot lane, we are seeing a gank coming out. Instant Stealth running in there. Is he going to be able to get... Oh, he's a bit too far away for the Twisted Advance. Didn't initiate as quick as he needed to. And Magikarp still trying to get up close and personal to Volf. Come on, that range farm needs to go out, Volf. Now you need to control that lane. Actually, he just needs to sustain that lane. And as long as he does that... Oh, and he did manage to actually get off a Twisted Advance. Together with a shield from Blue, grabbing them a kill on Lovia Sophie. They're getting crushed this game. VGR are looking like they're just back in the game. They're ready to go on and move into the finals. They are really ready for this. But again, if Magikarp stacks up those rages, that rage, he can of course get very quickly into a team fight. Oh no, he's stealth finding Dan in the middle of the jungle. Using them jungle minions to deny the bandage toss as well. With no retaliation. There we go. Mistrat very much alone in this. May have to jump out into the enemy jungle. Yep, he's gonna get chased down. There's the slow going down as Rice Cakes gets another auto attack. Just two more, and that's gonna be it for him. Oh, he found him. Oh, he's gonna get that with a bit of much. Yes, very much. So easy. I don't believe there was enough mana on Mistrat to... He's sitting on 71. Oh, yeah, he was 9 mana short for getting his jump off, where he would have been a little bit safer. So it was just a matter of trying to draw out that time. Good chase coming out from Rice Cakes. Now sitting 5-0 for VGR. What can HTC do to come back into this game? There's still... got that teamfight initiate potential from Dan and Magikarp getting in there with Kuldamek and doing an AoE stun to the rest of the team. But when that happens, they are in a difficult position. They've got a lot of tankiness to deal with. They've got Blue with the ultimate she's been using so effectively for the entire series. As long as they focus on whoever's getting targeted, as long as Blue focuses on whoever's getting targeted in teamfights, they don't really have much to worry about at this point in the game. All Magikarp has is that tiny bit of farm advantage. But let me just check that out. There he is sitting on level 7. Volf is falling quite effectively. He hasn't really even needed to ward right now. I think once we start seeing those move gains for the better. In terms of HTC, that potential. You get the slows off from Rice Cakes and the combined Little Lance as well. And they can just poke down targets. Oh, look at that. He fished himself up a little tire. It was so cute. That moment when you think you have a fish. No, Instant Stealth still trying to deny the jungle. He's already got blue buff. He doesn't need it anymore. Now, they did ward that very effectively coming into the game. That's what gave them control of that jungle for so long. Question marks all over the place. Okay, okay. All the question mark lines. So they're going to be able to push up this bot lane very, very well. I mean, they've got all of those slows, and they can follow the range and the damage from Rice Cakes, who I would think is focusing out Blade of the Ruined King to combine with his damage chunk abilities. He gets that Bio Arcane Barrage, and he gets off 4% of the enemy's health. So combine that. That gets rough. Yeah, that gets about 9%. I think it does stack. It does scale. But 9% of the enemy's health from Rice Cakes on every auto attack when he picks up that Blade of the Ruined King. Very, very effective. And Raw actually doing so well in that mid lane, sitting on 1,600 gold. So we can go back and instantly buy himself that Rod of Ages at 10 minutes. And usually you see it come into that 15-minute mark. So that is such a very quick stack for him. He's going to be able to roam. He's got the damage. He's got the durability. It's going to be very, very hard for him to deal with. And there's that ranged poke slow combo coming out from Blue and Rice Cakes. VSOP getting denied the grabs. Oh, he's actually found a good one on the Blue right now. No. They do not have the damage output to follow up on that, so it's not the best idea for them to get the grabs going right now. 0-5 in their game. In comes NZ Stealth. They do a sight on this. He's thinking of actually going for a turret dive. He's going around the back. Who's the Twisted Advance going to be landed on? No! He doesn't go for the initiate. The box is up and available. They're actually focusing on Gali here. Blue having the flash out of there. And the ultimate's still available. NZ Stealth, I think you're fine, buddy. They want to try and bait that out. There we go. I love VSOP. Getting that beautiful grab off with the lantern. Oh, so friendly. Anyway, Dan going to be staying in there. His ultimate is available. Is he going to pop it out and try and isolate NZ Stealth? No. He wants that on the entire of the enemy team. Here we go. Mistrat will have to go out, so they're missing their ADC now. Oh, in comes NZ Stealth. Flash for the Twisted Advance. Manages to go in for the win. Oh, and Dan actually focusing down Blue in the sideline. So I think Raw, he does have his knockup down. He will be able to get it back up now, but a flash from Dan may secure his life as he does dodge out. Oh, in the top lane, Vault managing to take out Magic R. So now that top lane is mitigated entirely as well, the only kill is sitting on Dan, and that was only because he managed to get the slip up on Blue from staying away from the actual team fight, which sort of hurt his team. He did actually get off Curse of the Sad Mummy there underneath his turret to try and deny the turret engage from the minions. But now Volf is sitting 1-0. Now it looks like Magic R's just gonna be outscaled in that top lane. He's trying to deny a lot of ability power with that Negatron Cloak, a lot of that poke. Everything is going in VGR's favor for this game. I mean, you've still got the initiate potential on HTC with Curse of the Sad Mummy, but now that Magic R is locked down, he may not be able to jump into team fights as effectively. He's not scaling as much on health as he could be. He could have started out getting that giant spell, but he did go for a little bit of sustain now that he's up against Volf, and he's having to deal a lot with Volf. He's got that Negatron Cloak. It does mitigate quite a lot of damage. You know, you've got the Cho'Gath, you've got the Vlad. But when all comes and is said and done, if Magic R jumps in there and he's not on the top of Rice Cakes, he's not going to have a fun time. Love VSOP. Apparently having a couple of disconnect issues there, although they're not pausing out the game. So, let me just see if the pause is going to come. No. No? Okay. Yeah, there we go. Waiting for it, a little bit delayed. What has been happening? Is everybody okay there? It is now 13 minutes into the game, and Cho'Gath already sitting on that Rod of Ages, just doing so well for them. I think if they target effectively and they roam around as a team, they could change this around, but VGR are so desperately far ahead. You've got to be sneaky. You've got to be sneaky at this point. You can't take direct engages. VGR have the damage output. They've got the sustain, the survivability. I mean, if they stay as a team, they may be able to do it as well, but that will mean they're abandoning lanes. So, hey, they could come back in that way. Yeah. But hey, winner of this game, VGR doing so well, will be moving on to the finals. Going up against VGN. Varaxel goes Nangs. Yes. VGR did have a bit of trouble versus Varaxel goes Nangs coming into this matchup. That is why they're down here fighting for survival, fighting for their chance at first at first place. But we've talked about the lanes, we've seen where they're going, we've seen where HTC can potentially come back from this. But NZ Stealth is actually doing quite well to deny them those chances to come back. He's watered the jungle before, he's stayed in there, he started to deny farm from them in the jungle, so Amumu's not having a great time either. And after that engage in the bot lane, yeah. Surprisingly, no turret's actually gone down. It's been all kills this game. But as you can probably see on your screen, yep, you can see it on your screen, it is MagicR now having to deal with Volf, and he does have his Negatron Cloak, but he hasn't quite scaled up in damage. He's only got that, the Doran's Blade. And Volf is sitting on there with a lot of sustain. He's got Seekers with that sustain, as well as the lifesteal coming out from the Hextech Gunblade. Sorry, Hextech Revolver, rather. Thinking of picking up the Gunblade. Thinking about it. Volf is known for his love of things that go boom. He does use quite a lot of those, he loves those Gunblades. He loves the activates on things like, anything that combines with Bilgewater, come on. Blade of the Ruin King and Gunblade. So much fun on Volf. In fact, I haven't seen him pick up Jace for a very long time, despite the fact that Jace still has quite a lot of fun burst. And sustained auto attack damage, and he still, he sort of likes that Gunblade. He loves Blade of the Ruin King for Jace. Jace, I mean, don't know about Volf. Come on, Pawsy. Me no lucky. So it's a 3k gold gap right now. That's actually not that much of a gap. There's still been a decent amount of farm coming out from HTC. They have suffered a little bit in the mid lane and the bot lane for the ADCs, but to be honest, not that much. Not overly so. Yep, hey Destro Ward, what's up? How's it going? Give me something to converse with. To be honest, Tristana, if she does get a refresh on her jump for team fights, she can be a hopping little bunny in the middle of those. So if HTC help her scale well enough, let me carry you ranked. Oh, I'm sorry, I am way too heavy to carry. I'm actually not that heavy. I am heavy now. This has been the issue with me and ARAMs. I play too much ARAMs and I just don't know how to summon his Rift anymore. I'm getting back into it. I'm getting back, it's just very, very slowly. But you know, you go in and you're like, hey, I'll die to a turret, because then I can back and buy items. Is that a good mentality to follow? Is it a good mentality? Because you have that idea that when you get in lane, you're focusing on sustain, so you want to stay in there long enough. And I think ARAM has done really well to help players move into that feeling where they can just sustain in their lane, get a lot of farm, get all of the, one of the main points of sustain is not always just out farming your opponent, but also getting all of the thing, what's it called? Damn it, XP. Getting all of the XP makes a lot of sense. If you're able to outscale them in abilities and in levels, you can get the real push up, and that's a lot of what ARAM encourage, which is quite good. But it's not always great when you see someone do up and they're like, they died of the turret to go back, and you're like, hey, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it certainly does still apply to Summoner's Rift. And a lot of people feel, I mean, at the very beginning of the game, for your first death, dying to a turret is quicker than going B. So, definitely worth it. Pro tip. Die to your turrets, everybody. Die to your turrets, save lives. So you're very right about that, Black Templar. Most certainly. But it's also there to deny kills, especially in the late game. We've always seen that in Summoner's Rift. Great mechanic. So, how you guys doing? If you guys think there are any ways that HTC can come back from this that I haven't quite touched upon, let me know. Because right now, all I'm focusing on is them roaming, trying to deny VGR jungle warding. Not just jungle warding, jungle farm. Trying to ward up the map and control it that way, and then move a little bit better into team fights. They do still have quite a decent amount of damage. They can scale well with Rise, especially, so you can stay back. They can scale well with Mistrat, especially. But you know, if they do take down Rice Cakes instantaneously, he's got his passive to really screw with them as well. And that's where it could be difficult for Renekton. If he doesn't get right on top of Rice Cakes, he's in trouble. If he does get right on top of Rice Cakes, the rest of his team is in trouble. But getting down there, I mean, would you say that's a good idea? Magic are getting in there, dying, well, if he does die at all, but managing to pick off Rice Cakes. Does that do enough for the team? I mean, they've got so much damage on Cho'Gath, so much sustain and damage on Volf. And yeah, you're certainly right about that. Destro Ward, Renekton does need more damage, but he's the way that he initiates in as Magikarp, he does very well to continue. Sorry, he does very well to initiate on team fights. So he's probably going to want to tank up, and we saw that in the first game. HTC loved tanking up instead of getting the damage and focusing on damage carries to pull it off, so that the rest of their enemy team. Whoever they're facing, they want them to burn skills out on people like Galgi, on people like Dan and Magikarp. Those two love to soak up damage, and that's how they tend to initiate. I mean, most of the games that we see from them, they get very tanky people to jump in there at the beginning. And while you may think that's what a lot of people want to do, it's not always based on strategy. But from HTC, you can see it a lot more coming out in their strategy, and you can there see Dan going down from Cho'Gath being very tasty and thirsty. Okay, well, that just happened. So I don't know, it's not working out for them to roam around in their jungle. It's sitting 1-9 now at the moment. This is all about whether or not they can just give the slip up on VGR. They cannot take on direct confrontations. Now that Magikarp has been denied some farm, and he's been killed twice. He's got less levels than Volf there, sitting at 12 to 10. And of course that dragon is going to go to VGR as well. There is only a 5k gold gap. A lot of people can come back from this. I think their main issue right now is not actually the fact that they're missing a lot of items. I mean, of course, that's always the issue. Oh, Magikarp, I'm sorry, that pool is just going to destroy you. But Galgate is here to pick up the slack. They may just be able to chase Volf out of there. But Magikarp is following up on it, and his ultimate is about to run out. Oh, he's thinking about a direct confrontation. Now that he has out-farmed, it looks like Galgate is in trouble, but Magikarp is in there too, and there's that one on. Oh, wow, okay, the lockdown coming out from Gali certainly locked him down to make sure he couldn't take out Magikarp there. They played that very well. They went back and forth on him. He could have done so much with that, but they stopped him from doing that with the lockdowns and with their positioning. That was very, very close. Very, very close indeed. They're going in for an initiate. They're being very aggressive. They want to win this game, so they're trying to out-aggress them. In comes the teleport from Rice. They can come back into this Rice Cake. Gonna go down, but is his passive gonna be enough to take down Mistrat? Mistrat probably gonna be saving his jump here. There he goes. But he doesn't mitigate any of the damage. Raw can come in here, knock them out, get the kills. VGR can follow up on this very easily. He doesn't get the knock-up. Oh, no, but Mistrat is in a very dangerous position. Yep, Chomp Nump. No, Chomp Nump didn't go down. Raw does not have Chomp Nump available. Definitely not going to be enough. Okay. So there was a little bit of a comeback from HTC. They controlled that top lane. All they need to do is grope up. I was going to say grope up. If only. No. All they need to do is group up and make the plays. They've got a teleport available to them. They know Rose has burnt. They know that Gallies is burnt now, but and they can sort of retaliate to it. But they don't have a way to retaliate to a teleport overall. I mean, there's no teleports coming down from VGR. They don't have a TF or anyone like that. In they come. They're trying to go for a direct confrontation on Raw, which would be great, denying him farm and denying him levels because he's doing so well in this game, sitting 4-0. If they can take him down, they've taken down a very dominant force in the game and they can move in. Oh, RiceCakes may just be able to follow up, taken out. No, Mistrade getting away with the flay from VSOP, but he flashes into Gully, manages to get the lockdown. RiceCakes is going to be finished. It is HTC coming back in the game. I told you guys, they need to group up. They need to control these fights. VGR just getting very overconfident. They're going into lanes alone, and HTC are very much taking advantage of that. There's no reason that HTC cannot still take away this game. Now they've scaled up. They've got a lot more damage on a Moo. They've got a bit more damage coming out from their ADC, but they aren't able to control sustain. I mean, a lot of slows coming out from Blue. Together with their ultimate, they're able to lock them down for a large amount of time. Good flash from VSOP protecting them. They may be able to pick up Blue from this engage. Oh, he could manage to save it. No! That last glitter lance coming out from Blue, managing to take him down. Still going down himself at 6-11. They're doing very, very well to get back into this game. They just need to outposition VGR. More wards is the key here. More wards, more map presence. And they're going to be able to come back in. Amazing, amazing comeback. See, they just CC'd, they got aggressive, they controlled the fights, they communicated. Sometimes that's what it takes. And this is what I've been saying quite a lot about the New Zealand scene. There are a lot of teams in the New Zealand scene that are just a bunch of mates coming together and getting into the scene, which is sort of, it's really cool. You know, you can do that with your mates in the NZ scene right now. You can't do that if you go over to Australia. You can't do that if you go over to America or anywhere else, really, that I know of in the world right now. New Zealand, the New Zealand scene is in the point where if you want to get into the scene, you want to build into it, go do it now. You can do it. But the first team to put in the time, oh yeah, and Magic is just going to slightly, oh, that last auto attack from Bob, he's speeding up, and there's the auto attack. He does manage to get it in with his Q, but if you get enough training and if you just focus on analyzing your enemy, focusing on your mechanics, and working as a team, that can make the difference to you being a pro player in New Zealand, you know? That's all it takes. Research your enemy. Research how you can mesh together as a team best. Research how to make use of the map in the mid to late game. Work together and you'll be in that top tier. You will be. It just takes that extra mile that a lot of teams, they just plan together with mates, which is also good because anyone can really get in now. But you've got to get in quick because the gap is starting to really close.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
It's getting to that point where these teams have played together so much that it's very difficult to catch up to them. But it's still possible. It's still very possible. Soon it won't be. Anyway, VGR going to be stealing out that blue buff again. Oh, Dan trying to get in there, trying to steal it with his ultimate, but he does manage to lock down Instant Stealth as a consolation prize. He may just be able to flash out of here. He is. Oh, he does manage to get away. In goes Magic R with a slicing dice. Thinks he's going to be able to pick him up. Oh, Instant Stealth, you are so close. He flashes into the kill on him as well. He's got his ultimate active, so he is dealing a little bit of damage. And now HTC converging on, managing to throw out the box. Was going to go down. Vault doesn't quite have any way to escape. His pull was down, and his flash wasn't quite available to him either. So HTC again taking it away, 9-13. They are closing that gap over and over again. Definitely right, Jibbers. The longer the game goes, the less that gap will mean. We've got a lot of tankiness opportunities coming out from HTC. Their damage scales quite well with Magic R and Gully especially, and with Mistrat with his range and his explosive shot. His jumps do well in teamfights. They've got a lot of it going for mechanics in teamfights. And to be honest, the box combined with Curse of the Sad Mummy is really dangerous. You lock down enemies and then there's nowhere they can go. There's nowhere they can go. Absolutely nothing they can do. But VGR, they've got a lot going for them as well, to be honest. If RiceCakes is the focus of attention, that passive is there available, despite their ADC damage is now gone, and they've got a lot of tankiness now that they've scaled with the gold that they have, and they've got control of the map and control of Dragon. There's a lot going for both teams. Or there's opportunities available for both teams. HTC just need to roam around and control their own jungle. As long as they're getting the farm, they can scale back up to VGR's level. And they do have a beautiful backdooring Galligay. Galligay! I know I'm saying that very wrong. I'm going to do it anyway. Someone over there, someone listening to this wants to slap me in the face from that. Then we do see the initiate. Because of the sad mummy went out. Magic Arrow is the focus of attention. He's doing what he needs to do. He got his ultimate out as well as we sustained for a long amount of time. But it's the pure sustain coming out from VGR. There was a bit of protection from VSOP. No, it's not going to work. They are underneath the turret. They're just not taking damage. That is all. That is it. VGR just don't take damage anymore with their gold lead. They've got the Aegis. Sorry, not the Aegis. They do have the Bulwark finished, despite that it's finished on Mumu as well. And actually, Gally actually picking up a kill onto Maokai, staying a bit too close into the turret. I mean, again, VGR, they're very overconfident. That's how they lost those last two engages after the pause went down. But that was an interesting fight. You know, HTC sort of got off what they wanted to. They didn't have Gully there to help them. I think it was a 5v4 engage coming in there. Overall, it's just pure tankiness being dealt out by VGR. HTC shouldn't go for engages just yet. They don't have the lead they need. They need to continue to sustain and time exactly what they need. They need to think of who they're going to focus when they get into the fights, because it's a big toss-up. ADC, you've got the passive to deal with. You've got Blue, who will throw out the ultimate regardless of what happens. There's just not much. They need to scale up in damage. They have no damage because VGR are so tanky. And hell, VGR might respond in that kind, in that way. They can just let Rice Kegs damage himself up. They can let Volf damage himself up. Everybody can just completely tank up. But it does look like Raw is following his build from the first game, getting that pretty pink Lichbane. He will be finishing up that soon. He's a little bit of a strutting fashion statement when he picks up that Lichbane. So sexy. Anyway. Yeah, it is the Rob picking that up. But he's going full AP, and they can make the most of that by taking him down very quickly. He's still very tanky with that Aegis. Sorry, with that Rod of Aegis. He's still very tanky with his stack up on his ultimate. Oh, and that Jurassic skin, so cool. Getting that glowy eyes, so glowy. Backdoor a little bit coming out from Volf in the top lane. Trying to control him, but here we are. They've managed to find another one isolated, but they don't manage to take him down. Very good pull, denying them any damage while he was locked down. The calls made by Volf. New scent for Volf. The calls. A little bit. Anyway, the jungle is now in control of VGR. They can take over everything that they need to mitigate how HTC are going to come back into this game. And I think they may have just caught wind of the fact that HTC are starting to play both more aggressively and more defensively. They're playing defensively in the fact that they're waiting and they're watching for the right initiate, the right time to strike. But they're playing more aggressively in the fact that when they see someone isolated, they will just burn everything. They're very desperate to get these kills and come back into the game. Halitude calling Raw challenging is in a hot shot. That was Volf last game with that Z, my god. If ever there was an inner hot shot, that Z play. Oh my god. I will remember that from years to come. Looking forward to more Volf Z plays. Yeah. VGN, definitely something that they're going to want to ban out if VGR get in. Not saying I'm calling it though. I mean, you've seen how HTC, they went from 0-8 to 10-17. They've picked themselves up a bunch of kills and they're mitigating this gold lead. They're really starting to take control of the map. They've warded up. But there's still more tankiness on the way. Maokai has grabbed himself a Giant's Belt and he's got a Negatron Cloak. He's really looking to not take a lot of hits. And look at that, like Raw, he can't actually take a lot of hits from Misfred. He doesn't have a lot of resist for anything. He's in a tough position. He's going to go down. Yep, Gali picking up the kill there. Down. Overcharging loady thingy. He's actually he threw down his teleport to come in and try and deny the Baron. Not sure if he quite needed to do that, but he did deny Baron through doing so. Or did confirm the deny. As they move in with HTC coming back up. Let's do this, guys. They're pushing in that mid lane, grabbing themselves turrets. So now both teams got both of those outer turrets down. VGR just a little bit ahead in those 5 turrets to 3. See, now it's back to the exact same back and forth that you saw to the first 2 games. And this is where pro play really comes together. Despite having that massive gap at the beginning, they can alter their mechanics to really come back. There are lots of different ways to come back in League of Legends. That's apparently, like, I've been exploring a lot of Heroes of New Earth and a lot of Dota as well, to sort of understand the differences and the complexities of all of the MOBAs. And to be honest, in League of Legends, there are far more opportunities to come back into the game. And that's one of the big differences about League of Legends. It's not like, oh, it's so that you can come back. It's like there are these opportunities. You've got to have the skills and the control to take those opportunities, to make the most of them. Now Volt is in the middle. Oh, he can just pull out of the box like it doesn't matter. So the box burned down for no reason whatsoever. VGR in a good position for this, but Raw's going to be focused down pretty easily. He did manage to eat a Mumu on the way. Well, they managed to, Raw actually gets out of there with almost no health. And if Magic R is going to be able to get Slice and Dice back up, he gets the knock up. They're just cutting him all day long as they manage to exit the battle with a 2-for-0 exchange. And the rest of HTC thought they could follow up on it. So Galgay not going to be able to stay in there. Damn, 3-for-0 exchange in favor to VGR. HTC, they're getting a little bit too up close and personal. They think they can take fights that they really can't. There is indeed an 8k gold gap. Yep, there is that 8k gold gap coming in. That is really enough to put them ahead. I mean, HTC, they've got to stay back. They've got to be protective. They've got to wait for their engages underneath turrets or in their base. But I think they're afraid if they do that, VGR are just going to come back through farming in the jungle, through controlling all of the lanes. It's such a hard call to make. Are you going to get isolated and hope that the enemy team is stupid enough to jump on you and in the wrong position, in the wrong situation? But it looks like HTC, they're very ballsy. They're going to continue warding out everywhere they can and just trying to control the map, trying to gain back control, know when VGR are taking objectives. Maybe that's a good chance for them to get back in the game. VGR trying to go up to Dragon, trying to go up to Baron. If they get good sight on those objectives, they just need to wait until VGR are like, okay, we need to take the objectives if we're going to actually get anywhere in the game. They do have a lot of control. But so, like HTC, they can come back as long as VGR are in a bad position. That's all it takes. One bad position. As long as HTC stay back and they farm up and they have a lot of fun doing it. That's what it's all about. It's about fun. Entertainment. Are you not entertained? Oh, have VGR backed up enough for HTC to actually grab this dragon? Looks like it. There is a little bit of thought. I mean, VGR know exactly that this is going on, and they're actually going to try and counteract it. Maybe by going for Baron. Are they thinking about it? No, they're just going to try and control the jungle. They can get that blue buff. The jingle jangle is indeed in NZ Stealth's control. Merry Christmas indeed. No presents for you. This is NZ Stealth being the Grinch here. Bit of a lie. No trees for you. Yep, no blue. VGR have teamed up now. So have HTC. It looks like another 5v5 might be imminent. But VGR, they're still too far ahead for HTC to engage. HTC have to accept this. And they have to wait for the right engages. VGR actually are getting pretty ballsy. If Magic R makes the initiate, is he going to go in for the slice and dice? No, he's not confident enough to go for it. As HTC are split up again. Who's going to make the initiate? They really want VGR to be the start of all this. Nope, VGR just going to go in there, poke down a turret, and escape like nothing is wrong. Those sneaky little buggers grabbing themselves a free turret and walking out. That Rabadon's Ra. I'm sorry, Ra. You know, he is quite made of paper at the moment. He's got a lot of health, but that Blather Room King on Tristana and the fact that she just does so much damage in general. Auto attack Dom. Come on, together with a rapid fire, that's enough for her to take down Ra if he gets out of position. You saw that before. And that's where they're still scaling pretty well. She's got the speed, she's got the damage, she's got the penetration. Oh yeah. Just on there with the last whisper. Now denying, we're actually denying Sight Wards. Is VGR going to try and go for this Baron? That's what HTC needs VGR to do. Take a map objective at the wrong time. But it's not really the wrong time for VGR right now. They can freely push out HTC. If they get the warding down, Cho'Gath, I'm pretty sure, can react to anything that HTC pull. He can throw down the Rupture while the rest of his team takes down the Baron, but they're not that far ahead to the point where, I mean, Volf is sitting 18, but they're not that far ahead to the point where they can take down Baron really, really quickly. But they were going for it a little bit. In goes the teleport with Gallagher actually flashing out of there. They're going to initiate onto Inside Stealth, throwing down the box just on him. They needed that to land on the entirety of the enemy team, but they are split up. Out goes Volf from the behind, manages to get VSOP. The support is down, but his ultimate was burned already anyway, and now focusing on Gali as well. The rest of HTC managing to focus down Blue and Rice Cakes. They're doing very well with it. Now that they were separated, they are sort of coming out semi on top of this. They don't have any kills right now. They have managed to pick off the Rice Cakes. So the ADC is down as Magic R. Is he able to get... Oh, they do manage to get that bandage toss onto him. Magic R might just be able to know. Oh, the knock-up just missing him. The auto-attack from Raw going to be finishing him off. So it is going to be a 4-for-0 exchange. Oh, my voice just completely cracked there. Mistrat, he does get the refresh on the jump with the kill on Lulu. Managing to run away from this, but this means as NZ South Evolve and Raw, I'm thinking they can take a Baron if they wanted to, but they are going to go back and sustain. Oh, come on. Taking us with Raw and NZ Stealth and Volf with a bit of damage. Can finish. Oh my god! The stop on the jump that lands on Mistrat when it's channeled managed to stop him enough for that infuse from Volf. Oh no. So it technically was an ace for one exchange. With now VGR moving in, taking out potentially, and yet another turret going down. Yeah, while Volf is going to go down here, they just got so much benefit out from those engages. But HTC did well to start that out with the engage from Gali. They sort of baited out a start, but HTC, they were split up, and that box going out from VSOP, it only landed on NZ Stealth. And I think they really need that box, the box to land from VSOP on the rest of VGR. That will slow them, that will damage them, and will give them great control of team fights. It will give them a far more consistent Mumu ult. People just keep going back and forth on this Baron. I'm skeptical as to whether or not this Baron is ever going to go down again. Oh, in goes down. He throws down the ultimate on NZ Stealth and Rice Cakes. Rice Cakes is going to be the focus of attention, so now his passive is popped. He's going to try and focus on Dan as they manage to get down VSOP again after his box went down, so it's okay, but they're focusing down Raw now that he's built damage, and that did go in favor of HTC. They're now 2-for-1 exchange. They can move in, take out this turret here. They need VGR, they just need to group up, but that was a decent engage from Dan, noticing that the rest of VGR weren't right behind them to follow up, and they were a bit split up there as well. They're not gonna go for Baron despite having 2 down, despite having actually most of the damage for VGR down. They've only got Volf really left to deal with it. Are they gonna go for Baron now? Are they gonna try it out, or do they think that Instant Stealth can come in for the steal if he needs to? Yep, they're really not confident. 3v4 at a Baron, they do not want to deal with that.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Checking it out, Rod does now have the Sonya's Hourglass. Let's see if Rice Cakes manages to pick up a Guardian Angel as well, moving later into the game. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for VGR to scale to a team fight. Oh, that ultimate just barely denying that kill from Galgia on the blue. And comes Mistrat, though, grabbing the kill. Now the auto attacks are off on Volv. HTC are looking in a very good position here. Volv is not going to be able to get out of this, but he does plop. That is a really, really weird... That just happened. Okay, apparently you can Zonia's underground. That happened. But now HTC have taken down Volv and Blue. Not necessarily two ridiculously high damage control carries and champions. They have denied the ultimate on Blue, and it doesn't look like anything is going to go down from VGR trying to steal out this Baron. They do have Raw being really sneaky, backdooring down in HTC's base, though. So even if this Baron goes down, oh, Rice Cakes is just so much auto attack damage going for him. Instant Stealth is in here to try and go for the seal. He makes it! He gets the Baron steal, despite the fact that he may just go down there. It's no Baron for HTC. They're not going to be able to come back from this. Raw managed to take down an inhibitor down in their base with that backdoor. He took down Galligame when he managed to get that Baron. That was insane. That is what they needed to come back in this game. VGR making the plays. Oh, denying HTC everything coming into this game. 1927. Oh, that was insane. I just don't know what to say about that. Perfect smite control from NZ Stealth. Oh my god. Man, does that tell you, should have they completely turned around and focused down NZ Stealth? I'm thinking, see, that is what you need to take down a dragon. I was thinking that while they did take down Lulu and Volv, you know, VGR, they've still got that smite available. They've still got the initiates available. Like, Twisted Advance gets them in there very easily. Jesus. You got to take down the stealth before you jump into a Baron. You've got to take down that, if you're uncomfortable with getting a Baron, which both teams very much were, you've got to get rid of the jungler. That is that one thing that basically secures you, that Baron. Although I have seen a Baron steal on an Ezreal, which was pretty sad. His ultimate hit from his base actually managed to grab the Baron. That is quite sad to see. Because I'm sure True Shot Barrage does not do 1,000 true damage like that tasty little smite does. Gotta call it though. All right, now that VGR have that Baron and they're coming strong back into the game, I think they're gonna be able to team up and take out a lot of team fights. They're pushing all the lanes. They've got that inhibitor down, so they've got the super minions providing a lot of backup for them. All they need is that one perfect team fight, and they can finish this off, taking away the best of three semi-final series, moving into the finals. Whoever takes this game away goes up to face against VGN. Best of 5. Go check it out live at Big World Internet Cafe next week. Oh, we do see the initiate. In goes Dan. Manages to get off a pretty decent ultimate on the rest of VGR, but VGR are so tanky right now. They've teamed up. They're ready to take on the rest of the world. They've separated the team. HTC have actually separated the team more effectively, but now Raw and Rice Cakes notice it. They're coming back into the fight. The damage is back in favor of VGR. Oh, Volv managing to take down the ADC behind enemy lines. That is it. VGR have taken it away. Best of 3 series up against HTC. GG indeed going down. 5-1 exchange. That is it. VGR taking it away. Best of, they went 2-1 right there to HTC. 1. And take it away again to join VGN in the finals next week for a best of 5. Give it up, everybody, for VGR. Oh god, everybody, you know, people have been saying they've had a few troubles. They've been swapping around with their supports and stuff, but they are coming in strong. Their mechanics are great. Their team play is really shining, and as long as they get the champions they need, I mean, they do have quite a wide skill set, and Raw building flat damage basically on that Shogun. That's insane. Volv, if he manages to get that Zed coming into the finals, I think they've got a really, really great chance. They've just got to train up really effectively with their new support combo. With their, they've got to get a lot more used to blue. And I think, you know, they're after having those 3 games, you saw them progress. Each game, they came together more and more and more. And I think their team fight mechanics are really coming in strong. with this support change. So I think they really stand a very good chance up against VGN, and they're going to be training hard. There is a lot of money at stake. There is a lot of reputation at stake as well. With VGR, they took away they were the best team in New Zealand last year, taking away the BCNZ finals. It was amazing going up against Legit, taking them away, and they had a couple of issues. This is why they are a strong team. They train up. They know where they're falling behind in, and they come together. They come together. That is team play, guys. Okay, thanks for joining in with the BCS semifinals, I guess you could call it. But yeah, in goes VGR versus VGN next week for a best of 5 series. I'm Snowy Padre. This is the BCS. Coming next week, we'll be doing stream giveaways and live. You'll be able to combine all of your little ticket things that you got from LOLNZ and potentially win a whole bunch of prizes when you're there. Yay! So come join us live. I believe it is. I can't remember the direct address, but it's opposite. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. Anyway, Big World Internet Cafe, Wakefield Street, Auckland, New Zealand. Come join us in next week. Best of 5. Cheers, guys. VG and VGR. Let's do this. Good night and good day. It is 2 p.m. But hey, have fun.